Welcome, Wargamers, to another Mid-Sussex YouTube video. If you've just finished watching part 1 of our tournament review, welcome back. This is part 2. You know who I'm Sam, and we're joined again by
Alistair.
Or the head of Alistair.
Yeah. No, I don't know. The rest of it's not that
There
impressive.
yeah. No comment. Yeah, this is part 2. We didn't say it before, but you probably have done it. Grab a paintbrush. I think our last video was an hour and a half long, and that was 3 games.
We'll try and keep this one shorter.
Under an hour?
We can hope.
We can hope. Touch wood. So yeah, when we left you, we'd just finished Saturday night socials.
Yeah.
I'd gone to bed at a semi-reasonable time, about 1 o'clock in the morning.
I've gone out of bed at a more reasonable time than I did at last Mansfield.
Yeah, you actually went to bed.
Yeah, I kind of went to bed though.
Yeah.
Only for an hour or so.
Yeah, it was just time we had a couple of hours sleep.
Yeah.
So yeah, good night's sleep. Obviously, because myself and Mark, when I played, we didn't kind of know what people were doing for breakfast.
I think us who stayed up late agreed 8:30.
Well, that's what we thought. So
Yeah.
we got down there for 8:39, 8:30. Because when I got up, I checked the event pack and they said first game 9:30. I was like, oh.
Yeah, none of us realised the first game was originally meant to be 9:30.
No one realised except for myself and Mark. So I was texting everybody going, you need to get down. And the name was like, no, it's 10. Dan said it was 10. So he's like, I ring Slayer and check. So I rang Slayer. I don't think I spoke to Dan. And he went, oh no, 9:30, be there. So we all rushed breakfast. You and Kieran were... Kieran was still in the shower.
Yeah, I kind of woke up. We woke up at 8:30 and it's like, oh, Kieran popping shower, that'll be 10 minutes, and I'll just jump and turn up for breakfast. Like, it's getting, like, Kieran's been... I'd thought he'd been in the shower for 15 minutes.
He had other business to attend to.
And then I just heard the shower turn on 15 minutes later, and I'm like... There's a running theme of Kieran spending a lot of time in toilets.
Yeah, there is. It's a beautiful video, yeah.
But, so it's like, oh, I'll just go down and have breakfast, and then I go up. So I ordered my breakfast. And all that. I think you, Damien, and that are there.
Yeah, myself, Mark, Billy. I think we've eaten or are eating.
But I'm sort of there going, I order my food. It's like 10 to 9. We get out at 9, eat the food. We can still go. Then David Reed and Chris come down. They order their food. Yeah. I'm waiting there a while. I was like, food's kind of taking a bit long. Yeah. They bring out some food. It's like, oh, that's probably mine. And they give it to Dave and Chris. And I'm kind of there going. But when we all had full English, it's like, it's my food coming. It's like, oh, have you not had it already? It's like, no. So I basically, Kieran is down at this point and ordered his food. Yeah. So he came down like 20 past 9.
Bearing in mind, we're supposed to be playing at 9:30. We've left at this point.
And bearing in mind, he's been in the shower since 8:30.
He's got a lot of hair to wash.
Yeah, he does. But, so yeah, I get my food at the same time as Kieran. Everyone else... Oh yeah. Everyone else goes off to the tournament, and then me and Kieran phone up a taxi, which normally when we've been there it just takes 5 minutes for them to get there. This day they decided it'd take 20 minutes. Yeah. So I end up actually having time to get a shower. Yes. So I jumped in the shower, and we got to the tournament for about 10 o'clock.
It was about 10:05 because we got there for, I think it was about 1:45. Because there was a load of temporary traffic lights which slowed us down. Oh, yeah. And I got there and was like, oh, sorry, we're laying down. So it's fine, we're starting at 10. I was like, really? I was like, I spoke to one of your guys and he said 9:30. I was like, yeah, we just made a call a minute ago to make it 10. And obviously, you guys then texted me. Yeah. I mean, to be fair, Callum and Katrina they were quite happy to wait. Maybe if you'd been in a better position, say you were playing Ed, you would have been like, no, we want the victory. Yeah. Fair, if you'd been playing us, I would have been like, no.
Very worried about facing us. After 3 defeats.
Yeah. No, but if you'd been on 3 wins, per se.
We wouldn't have been on 3 wins.
I like the optimism.
Yeah.
So yeah, our game was slightly delayed because we had to wait for David and Chris. We thought, when we left, it was like, oh, you bring Alistair and Kieran? And they were like, yep. And then they turned up and were like, did you leave them in the car or where'd they gone? They're like, oh, they're still having breakfast. We're like, they're missing the first game. But you didn't. You got there quicker than I expected.
For the first time in the last few Mansfield tournaments, I think everyone turned up.
Everyone turned up on day 2. Yeah, that's most impressive.
Yeah.
Usually someone is too drunk to move.
Dan, Wessel, Billy,
James, Braund,
me, Kieran.
Basically. So if you'd all gone out to Rock City, as you
Yeah.
normally do, there would have been like no one left at the tournament.
Pretty much.
Actually, that would have been good because that means we won.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was Seize the Prize, game 4.
I'd say probably our strongest and our second strongest.
Our weakest. As we said in our previous video, we were playing the high-flying Scotsman, David and Chris. Obviously, with their great companies, you've had Alistair talk about. And to be fair, we didn't really do a lot wrong.
Didn't do a lot right either.
No, you can't do a lot right when the game.
Yeah.
But as with unmodified Seize the Prize, it comes down to those 3 dice rolls so deploy. We think right, Barlin will get the prize. First turn, everyone marches. Obviously, both sitting about an inch off the objective, or a couple of inches off the objective. Next turn, I think we win priority. Heroic move from both people. Now we win the roll off. Barlin moves in contact with the prize. Rolls a 3.
You should be rolling those 4s.
Yeah,
That's
and what kind of hurt us was that I put my Dwalin in the well down as the prize, which then meant Barlin was behind the rest of the lines because what we should have done is just said, can we move it forward a little bit? Because it's only supposed to be a 5p piece. So anyway, everyone else moves past moves up to the prize. Then Aragon does his heroic move, rocks up, scoops it on one hand. Aragon digs up the prize first turn. Now,
Aragon's such a show off.
Yeah. Obviously, it's not over then because you still then got to win the roll off next turn. So move. They win priority. We call a heroic move. We win the roll off. Charge into Aragon. Barlin. Mark at this point is kind of just like, when they get the prize, they're going to march. You're not going to catch them. And he's like, throw an axe, hits. Ooh, all right. Wounds. Oh, wound. All of a sudden he perks up. I was like, all right, we wounded him. Aragon's fate, first fate fails, second fate fails, third fate passes. We're like, all right, actually, good round of combat here with Barlin. We're, we could steal the prize. Charge everyone else. Thranduil's got Terror. It's a Stormcaller. Stormcaller didn't do anything that turn. And basically, we kind of thought, we now have to be aggressive. The twins come steaming into Thorin and Dwalin, which, if I'm honest, I hate the twins.
I don't like the twins at all.
Not just because they're tough. 2 of them,
they're
right, 40 points, or they were 150 because they had armour. But
if you think about it, you're getting elf captains, which are normally 70.
I reckon they're both worth about 100 points each. You're basically paying 70 points each for each guy.
The best comparison is, Moon and Jar's the only other you get.
And they cost 10 points more, and I would say at worse.
They're 150 points for the pair.
Yeah.
Before you get, and they're much, much worse.
Yeah. Yeah, the only downside is if you kill one, the other one has to charge. And we managed to kill one, Thorin and Dwalin, got him, outstruck him, killed him. But the Galadriel court who was supporting Thorin actually did the wound. So it was like, I know what we'll do. We'll lead this elf on a merry dance. So this Galadriel court just started running away and we surrounded him so that he could charge him. I think Aragorn and Balin are still duking it out. And then Legolas just one hit, just all hits the Galadriel court. Because we were just going to run into our board edge so the twin would follow him. So it did more of, that was the only thing, thought it'd be funny. Then he also hits the elf. But Dwalin killed the other twin next turn anyway. So anyway, Aragorn beats Balin, doesn't wound him because who wounds defense 8. Next turn is literally like the partner of the Red Sea.
Yeah.
As they go, they win priority, so we call it heroic. with, I think it's Barlin. We just used all of Barlin's might first. And one of those Rangers of the North, I think, goes, right move, Aragon, right march. But it was a Ranger who was out of Aragon but could get Barlin. So literally runs into Barlin, and then Aragon just shoots off 9 inches towards their board edge. We're like, right, game over. Because he had an elven cloak. So Leggy couldn't even hit him as he ran away. And we're like, if we can, you know, we can't win because even if we break them and it gets 25%, they win 3 because they're holding it.
Breaking, Aragon, double 1. Tom Harrison's name to it.
Yeah, there was that, but Aragon hadn't used any will. Because when we natured Wrath, one of the twins did it and Halbrad did it. And used burnt all their might.
So much will, might, and fate.
Yeah, that's what, you know, it was like, right, let's draw some might. And then we thought, hang on, they got so much. Yeah. It doesn't actually matter, but they both failed to cast. Or they cast it, but it was resisted. Nature's Wrath. And yeah, Aragon got off the board in about 4 turns. And we was like, oh yeah, carry on. And they're like, oh, can we bring Aragon back? And we kind of laughed at that kind of, no. And then they brought him back on. And obviously we were playing. What we should have done is just got had an early lunch. And just kind of chilled. But we carried on playing. And in the end, we wiped him out. So, you know, we had even when Aragon came back, we smashed him. And I was like, I mean, obviously they probably weren't playing as competitively as they had been if, you know, the prize had been there. But, you know, it was still, we claimed the moral victory because we wiped them out. I think Halbrad...
Moral victory is the best victory.
Yes. Thranduil and Legolas teamed up to beat their Gimli. Which was quite cool. But then Halbrad killed Thranduil.
See, Radagast kills all these people on his own.
Yeah, alright, well... I'm afraid my Thranduil didn't have a horse or an eagle to rely on. So yeah, we lost that one 5-0. Which, to be fair, coming into this tournament, we expected to. We expected there to be a lot more cavalry, like a lot more.
There was barely any sort of cavalry. There was
Owen, and then heroes on. Oh, and Gary.
Yeah, so there was the Rivendell Knight Army.
Yeah.
Then there was us who had eagles.
And then there was Owen who had a few rides of Rohan.
Like 6.
Yeah.
And some other people maybe had 6.
Well, I guess Callum and Katrina.
And they had Guahir.
And Radagast on Slay.
Yeah, so basically, unfortunately for both me and Kieran and Callum and Katrina, this was both of our strongest nights because they had Guahir, we had eagles and that. So normally what happens in Seas of Prize is
someone of Guahir flies onto the prize.
Picks it up, and as long as you, on average, at least get a 4 in the first 2 turns or something like that, you don't fly away. When you win the game, that's a bit boring. Yeah. But what happened this time is they flew on, no Guahir picked up for the prize. Our Guahir, Radagast and Eagle charged in, hit him, failed to kill him. So yeah, basically everyone's just running towards the middle at this point. The rest of the army. So Radagast. One thing we worked out this weekend. The biggest thing to be scared of with Radagast and Eagle, ironically, is another Radagast
because he's got Panic
Steed on a 2+, and usually means that you're going to cast it. And because you don't have that Staff of Hammer just to be able to
throw one and an extra one.
Yeah, it's sort of you're draining will quite quickly. So they've got the prize. We failed to kill Guahir.
Because we're on the table next to you, and I look over, and they're both looking quite happy, and Guahir's got the prize sitting on top of his head, flying away. I'm like, I'll be over in a minute.
So Guahir manages. What happened is me and Kieran kept winning priority. Yeah. But they always won the heroic move roll off. Yeah. That happened for about 6 turns, which is quite insane. So Guahir manages to fly away. Gandalf compels Guahir back at 6 inches. Yeah. And then I think they're Radagast and Slay right in the middle, and everyone pretty much charges that apart. So basically we got Radagast and Slay charged our Radagast. Yeah. And then Treebeard, Bjorn and the other eagle all charged Radagast and Slay. what we don't call a hurt combat, obviously.
Yeah, as you do.
I think we do quite a few wounds on Radagast, and then we hurl the sleigh.
So you leave Radagast on what, 1 wound? No fate?
Yeah, something like that. I think we did. Once we got rid of his fate, and I think he had taken a wound, we held him.
So you hurled an oval base.
Yeah.
You picked up the cute little fluffy bunny rabbits and you threw it through the elves.
Yeah. And the best part was, for us anyway, was because the 2 buildings on either side of the middle of the board, so everything got channeled.
So they funneled it into a nice oval shaped.
Yeah, we didn't throw them as far as we would have liked.
How far did you go?
Yeah, I think it was about 8 inches.
That was absolutely devastating.
So we hit 20 odd guys, which quite killed Radagast.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'd like to think it did.
And then Kieran's doing rolling to wound, and he did a weird thing where he failed to wound all the easy to wound guys.
Yeah.
But managed to kill like the guard of the Fountain Court and all these guys that like, why are you killing them? They should be fine, and these guys should be fine.
All these squishy. Because they had Galadrim as well, didn't they?
Yeah. There was Galadrim, Gundor mixture.
Yeah, with Brady and Treebeard. Gwaihir, that's the one.
So what happened there is the Eagles jumped onto Gwaihir.
Yeah.
They killed him that turn. And so Radagast picked up the prize.
Yeah.
And then the Ents, Bjorn and all that just started Hulk smashing stuff. But that was kind of irrelevant, generally speaking.
Yeah.
So it was at this point where it's like, if any of that had gone well, Gwaihir was off the board.
Yeah.
Luckily it didn't. And then as soon as Radagast got points, like, where were they going? For me and Kim feeling quite cocky about, this should be quite easy now.
Yeah.
The same way that when Gwaihir had it was like, he should run off the board.
Yeah.
Radagast should run off the board. But as I mentioned, we continued to lose the heroic move off, which meant the furthest Radagast could move was like 3 or 4 inches if I won the combat and barged.
Yeah.
Eventually, Radagast's eagle died.
Yeah.
So it was just Radagast
on foot holding the prize.
Yeah. Luckily, he managed to hide round on the side of the building, so he wasn't getting completely surrounded as he was.
Yeah.
And then the Ents and Bjorn just had been killing guys and managed to break them.
Yeah.
Which meant that the game ended, I think, when we had...
Yeah, I think it ends at 25%, or when the prize comes off.
I think, we got into below 25%.
Yeah.
With Radagast still basically in the middle of the board, like 5 inches away from where the prize was originally picked up.
Wow. So that was a 3-0.
Yeah, so we won 3-0. It was a really good game. It was probably the closest Caesar prize game I've ever had.
Yeah, so I was obviously once our game was effectively over, me and Mark were taking turns just to have a little bit of a wander, and I was watching your game quite interested. I saw Gwaihir with it, and then I saw Radagast with it, and then the prize just kind of disappeared.
Yeah.
Which obviously Radagast fell off his eagle. I was like, who's won? I don't know.
Yeah, so...
it looked a good game.
It was a really good game, really good fun. They were lovely to play against. And they got most sporting in the end, didn't they?
They got most sporting, and they come dead last as well.
They did beat us to the wooden spoon.
Yeah.
We got on our first victory of the tournament.
Yeah.
And we're on our path to win it.
Yes, and that point, yeah, hoping everyone else had
somehow
lost
4 games.
Yeah, so after that was lunch.
Yeah.
And actually we all went up to KFC, Subway, and Callum and Katrina came with us. They went to KFC, didn't they?
Yeah.
We went to Subway. Where Kieran again disappeared into the void that is a Mansfield toilet.
I don't know what it is. That's the third time that weekend he'd spent 10 plus minutes just going to the loo.
Yeah, anyway, we'll leave that there, shall we?
I'm going to have to ask him about that.
Rather you than me. So yeah, we went and had a Subway, which was nice. It was actually nice to have lunch. And I guess the only kind of good thing about the way they do the standings is that because it's online, it auto updates and you can check it. So me and Mark were able to see that for Lords of Battle, which is game number 5, we were playing against Gary Doyle and his brother, I think it was Sean. He didn't talk a lot.
Oh yeah.
Little kiddie.
Yeah, it's bad that I originally thought they were father and son.
No, because if you didn't, the only reason I knew they were brothers because I'd been speaking to Gary, raised in a trade. But I can see how.
What is the age difference? You know,
I wouldn't hazard a guess. So yeah, we knew it was up against a Rivendell Knight Army at Lord's Battle, which if you.
It's a kind of standard-ish Rivendell Knight Army, isn't it?
Yeah, well, there's no Elrond. It was basically it was 2 knight captains. There was about 22 knights, and then Leggy, and the new Legolas with 2 Mirkwood knights and old Saruman mounted.
Yeah.
And
it's a cool army to look at, I think.
Yeah, it looked very cool. And me and Mark kind of thought, right, we're going to get kited. And our original plan was to sit in some terrain, try and form up, a defensive line, and wait for them to charge us. But the terrain was on quite a sparse table, so there wasn't a lot. And their deployment kind of let them down for their first turn because they had to deploy everything within 12 inches of the centre. So we kind of made the quick call to then deploy everything on in the middle, and go for it.
Stop them shooting at you.
Yeah, I mean we couldn't charge them first turn because obviously they're 12 inches back. So we kind of go, should we heroic march, get in their face, and then move next turn to get obviously into them. And and we win priority, so we march off. They call heroic marches with their captains, obviously, to get back to start shooting. And as we're moving, Mark kind of goes, "No, Sam, can I talk to you?" I'm like, "Right, yeah, what is it?" He went, "We're going to be in range of Nature's Wrath." I was like, "Yeah, we are." I was like, "Where are their heroes?" And there's Saruman. So if you've got a long line of Rivendell Knights,
Saruman's not hiding at the back.
Saruman was kind of at the back on this end. You had Leggy smack bang in the middle, and the 2 captains kind of in the middle of their blocks of 10. And I was like, you know what, mate, that's a brilliant call. I hadn't even thought of it. So again, credit,
Noticing a trend with this Nature's
Wrath thing. They're my models. I'm not even paying attention to where I should be doing it. So we kind of position it so only the captains are in range, which is thinking 1 dice. They've only got 1 might. And so we go, right, move Randall up, Nature's Wrath. Because obviously horses count now as VPs. Which
massive difference.
Because Mark went, they'll all be dismounted. I went, horses count.
Yeah. James Clark won't be winning lots of battles.
No, he won't be winning as many get buff back reps. Randall obviously did it. Captain failed to resist, and pretty much that entire warband was dismounted, bar Saruman, which was both good and bad because it meant he get swords, but it was good because then he didn't resist it. So that that was a fantastic start, and I think 3 or 4 died from the resulting Throne Rider.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's auto prone, strength 3 hit. They'll fall off and face palm into the ground. It's like, great, that warband now can't kite us. Or not easy. Obviously they can still march because the captain's on the floor. Stormcaller runs up, but because we kind of formed an M because we didn't want to get flanked too much. Stormcaller runs up. Nature's Wrath 3 dice, double 6. I'll have all those will points back. Again, just out of range of Leggy, so he can't resist it. Captain fails. We don't get as many because my half line was slightly further back, but we still get 4 or 5. I don't think any died then, but all the Mirkwood Knights are dismounted, and all most of them are dismounted. And we're like, you know what? That's a really good turn. We've got about 20 points in the first turn.
Yeah.
But, a combination of horses and people dying, that's a fantastic start. And sitting there now, reading it back, we I guess they were going to kite us anyway, but I think we forced their hand earlier than they thought by doing so well, because they immediately realised that they had to stay away from the Stormcaller. And obviously everything got up and went 4.5 inches back. So we didn't know when to turn that shooting. And what we should have done was then we should have marched and moved next turn. Because Mark went, should we do that again? I kind of went, nah, that's all right. And they marched backwards. And from then on, we never caught them.
Yeah.
They just kept going back 7.5 or 6.
also with the dwarves and stuff.
With the 5-inch dwarves, but they weren't targeting the dwarves, they were targeting the wood elf spears. And because it's elven bows, they were killing them on 4s and 5s, depending on what they were shooting at. And very quickly, they wrapped up 15 quick kills, shooting all the spear sports out. And it got to a point where myself and Mike were like, right, we can't afford to keep losing spears. Not because we're going to need the spear support, but because they're going to break us, and they're getting cheap points. So it's about an hour in, and if you've ever been kited by an all cavalry army, which unfortunately I've had the pleasure of twice now, it very quickly becomes frustrating.
Yeah.
When you're not really doing anything. You're just chasing models who just keep, when they can move further than you can run and still shoot you. They were back, and then, so they win priority and they declare a march. I said, Mark, so they're going back to their board edge. I was like, if we march, we can get out of range this turn. Backwards. And then we can march again and get out of range again. And he was like, all right. He's like, what will it achieve? I'm like, well, they might then start coming towards us if we keep going back. So they will catch us quicker moving full than...
I suppose then it gets to the point where they win priority and they move towards you, and then you do the opposite.
Yeah.
What you've been doing, just run straight at them.
Yes, I thought, I'm not going to continue being, shot at. So the elves, we've left the elves behind a long time ago. Leggy is sitting, within range of them, pot shotting their horses because it's easy to kill. And they're Saruman did a few sorcerer's blasts, but he wasn't willing to. Before he lost his horse, he kind of only come out a little bit and blasted 2 guys, and we were like, that's all right. And then shot Saruman's horse next turn. So he was just kind of doing long range immobilising to stop heroes moving. So anyway, we marched backwards, which I think caught them by surprise, because they then moved full forwards. Obviously, next turn we then march back, and they start moving half. And we keep just out of range, and eventually we kind of get to some terrain. Thought, right, let's hold here. The Stormcaller and the rest of the Wood Elves then hide behind trees so they can't be seen. And they start basically taking pot shots at the dwarves. And at this point, we're trying to work out how many we've killed, but I think where they've not expected to be dismounted so many times, when, say, we've killed, so set the scene, they got a lot of foot models from when we nature's wrath them. When we'd kill one of them, they put them on the casualty pile. Then if we dismounted another horse, that guy would come back.
Yeah.
So we're looking, and there's this massive pile of models where they've got the dismounts and all the horses. And we're like, how many have we killed? Hang on, I think we might have miscounted.
Breakpoint was 15.
Yeah, no, it wasn't that. But trying to work.
Yeah.
So we was trying to work it out, trying to count. And then they actually had to go over to their dead pile and sort out at least all the horses.
Yeah.
And we was like, right, on just horses versus what they killed, we're 3 behind. I said, but I know for a fact we killed 4, knocking them over, and Leggy shot a couple. But it was that kind of game where both teams were starting to get a little bit frustrated.
Yeah.
Because it was those necessary tactics, but it wasn't enjoyable. And I'll hold my hand up. I think there was one time when someone got the better of me, and I was kind of like, that guy should have died. And in fairness, he shouldn't have.
Yeah.
Because we used cool winds on a night, which obviously knocked him over. And Gary thought he rolled for Expert Rider and rolled a 1. And then re-rolled. I can't remember why we thought he should have died, but basically then when he re-rolled it, he rolled a 5 and stood him up. We went, oh, that 5 kills him. He went, no. I went, you're auto prone, so you roll a strength 3. And he went, yeah. So I'll roll it now. So I rolled to roll my Expert Rider, and I rolled a 1 and rolled a 5. I went, no, that's, we had a little discussion, and then I went, oh, actually, you know what? I think you're probably right. But that was a little bit of frustration boiling over, because it was like, we can't get, we're losing points, we're not gaining them back, because by this time Leggy's firing sticks. He's just decided he's not going to kill anything else for us. And we're trying to get points where we can. And then me and Mark kind of discussed, right, should we just send the heroes? because they need 6 and 4s to win when both fire, and they still have all their might in essence. And we send them out, we get priority, and they're within 5 inches. There's 3 knights, and this is getting near towards time. I think, right, if we can just get this heroic move, we can get into these 2 knights, kill them, and that'll be. We know we'll have enough.
Yeah.
Saruman calls a heroic move. Dwalin calls one. They win the roll off. They blast Dwalin into Thorin. Knocks them both over out of range. Can't get him, and then they then ride away. And it's like, that was a turn where we could have, because we're broken, but it doesn't matter because we've got all our heroes. That was a turn where we could have got, Thorin, because I think Dwalin still had a might after he called heroic. I think Thorin had one which he was saving for a heroic. So they both charge. They're going to get at least 4 points that turn. And almost thankfully time's called, tighten it up, and we've got ours, because it's all foot models. We're like, right, you got 36 dudes, 3 for breaking. Cool. 36 in total, or 38, I think it was. And we're like, right, let's work out your mess of VPs. And I'm like, right, so let's count what we got live. So and there are 13 models on the ground, like on foot. So it's like, right, 13 of those horses, including heroes, we get 13 points. Everyone else, I think then what we didn't do is everyone else, all the other horses should have been 2.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I can't say whether I counted them as 2 or 1, because there was 9 other horses, which should be 18.
Yeah.
Plus the 13,
so that
which is 31.
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't do that.
No.
No. And then
they'll be broken, won't they?
No, they weren't broken.
They one off 2 off broken. So.
There was they had 18. They had 18 models alive at the end, so we had 3 off breaking them. So they weren't breaking. So anyway, we was counting up, and obviously in hindsight now I realise I've counted wrong.
Yeah.
So sorry, Mark. It turns out we may have actually won that, but
like they had 36 against you.
No,
you still lost.
They had 38, but it ended up being 38-29. So if you had on those extra 9, is it 37?
So you lost by.
We'd have lost by a point. But the thing was, because the dismounts had been being exchanged, we might have killed.
So it's just
hand on heart, I can't say how many we killed for the Nature's Wraths.
Yeah.
But you just know that if it'd been that close, it obviously at the time it wasn't close. So I was just like, tell you what, we'll take 4 for we killed Nature's Wraths. I know we killed 4, and then he was like, well, I know Leggy shot 1, and I know one of your archers shot 1, and the final score was 38-29. And we was like, we did all right,
Yeah.
We totally understand why they played it that way, because all cavalry, if they had charged the dwarf line head on, they would have just been smashed. And you can't expect someone to play like that because you want them to.
Yeah.
And me and Mark had a chat about it. It was like, it sucks, but such is the game. Obviously now realising that we lost by a point. Because look back, the Stormcaller had another attempt at call wins, and he failed, or he was just out of range. And if he had blown that night over, obviously it wouldn't have mattered then. But now it would have been a draw. It's like
the Kieran rolling with the Treva to wound you kind of thing.
Yeah. So probably not the most enjoyable game, but I think there was a lot of that for Lords of Battle. I know a few other people said that both sides had to play unenjoyable but necessary tactics. But that's how you got to play some sort of tournament. I know GBHR James has done that to me in the past, and it is incredibly frustrating, especially when you're all on foot. Yeah. And your archers are out of range, or because our archers are.
See, this is why everyone should take eagles.
Because they can catch up with the cavalry. You know what? Maybe we will for the next one.
Yeah.
So we lost that.
So you're
2-2.
2-2.
Yeah.
So me and Kieran will come back after 1 win. We're on the roll.
Yes. No, sorry. We're 3-2. 3-2.
You and Falcon.
Yeah.
So we end up playing Owen White, which as we're going through this video, I realise we're just playing all the same opponents.
The thing is, with only 12 teams, the 6 games you're likely to play.
Yeah, so Owen Knight, we've already gone through what their army was.
Yeah,
so,
Rohan and what else?
Lords of Battle. Owen's face immediately drops when he realises he's against a 6 model.
Kind of like your face at Reconnoiter.
Yeah.
You expect a 6 model monster army to do very well at Recon. Lord's Battle. Because you're not giving away many wounds and you've got a very high and quick damage output. Isn't that fair? You expect, you're going to kick the backside off a lot of things very quickly before they can.
Weird thing people don't realise though is, I think we could give away a lot of points.
Yeah, so you'd have 3 for the Eagle.
Radagast was 9 in total, including his fate and the Eagle.
So Bayon would be
6.
So
that's 18.
No.
9. 3 for the Eagle.
Yeah, 9 and 6 is an 18.
Plus 6 for Beyond. The other Eagle.
The other Eagle, sorry, yeah.
So 18.
18 plus 6 for Treebeard, 24. 3 for the Ent.
27.
6 for Gandalf.
33. And then you can get breaking in general. So.
And not Lord's Battle, it's just breaking.
Oh yeah, it's just breaking.
36 points is actually quite a lot.
Yeah.
But then that would be a wipeout, so they'd win anyway.
Yeah. So 33.
So 30 is probably what you'd give away.
Plus, if I decide to renew with Radagast, I can actually make it
unlimited. Yeah. I've had a game of that where Bombadil was renewing Treebeard, and I kept taking wounds off Treebeard.
That's a dolphin.
Yeah. I beat. To go on a tangent, I beat his Bombadil.
I beat that.
Treebeard. Yeah, at Lords of Battle with Hunter Rocks.
Yeah, I did it with Eagles. So
yeah, Hunter Rocks is way cooler.
Yeah, but
anyway, back to the tournament at hand.
So
because it's already been.
Way it deployed is me and Kieran basically went in the middle.
Yeah,
because that's just how it works.
Which way did you play it? Did you play it that way or that way?
We did it that way.
Yeah, you did it the wrong way.
Yeah.
A lot of people did it that way.
Yeah, I think everyone does that at every tournament.
Yeah, and like domination, people play that way as well when it's short edges.
Yeah.
Anyway,
so I think they had pretty much all their shooting and Wood Elves in the top left, and they had their Rohan cavalry with Airwind, so it was separate on the right. And me and Kieran decided fairly early we were going to go after the cavalry.
Yeah.
Stay away from the shooting.
Stay away from the bows.
The Radagast, the Gladiator, all that stuff. So the early turns, we did Channel Blinding Light just to...
Yeah, just in case.
Yeah. There's a lot of cat and mouse between trying to get the Rohan cavalry. So, because there's like 2 inches difference between it.
Yeah.
Eventually, the Eagles got onto the cavalry. Held them, I think, or something like that. Basically, we got about 6 points just from either killing or unhorsing guys.
Yeah.
And the weird thing is, at this point, in theory, we could just run away and win the game.
Yeah, but
we didn't, obviously.
That wouldn't be very sporting.
No, but it's all there. We could have done that.
Yeah.
Because
you could go and sit in the corner and let them come to you.
Yeah, we're blinding light and defence 8.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But
you're not going to be giving away many points.
No. So what we did, I think they got priority, and the big elves were moving towards us.
Yeah.
We compelled a guy out, and we put Bjorn, Treebeard, and the Ent on the guy.
one bog standard dude.
Yeah.
Lovely.
We proceed to fail to roll a 6, so Bjorn has to use a point of might to win the combat.
Kieran rolling by any chance? Or was this you?
I rolled Bjorn's dice.
Okay.
Which was the one which got the 5. So, and then I had to use a might for that, and then Kieran for a 6 for the others. So we then jumped onto...
I take it you hero combated.
Yeah. So we
hero
jumped on Erkenbrand, Gladio, and some other people.
Yeah.
Erkenbrand was on the floor, I think, as an eagle held something somewhere.
Yeah.
At some point.
I'm loving this review. An eagle did something at some point, and Erkenbrand was on the floor for no apparent reason.
Yeah, I think it was Radagast held someone.
Yeah.
So basically, Bjorn smashes Erkenbrand, gets his might point back.
Yeah.
Kieran fluffs the Ents, and they failed to do. They just lost the combats they were in. I think.
Yeah.
They're just like Kieran.
Kieran.
So that happens next turn. I can't remember if we won priority or not. It didn't make too much difference to priority. Really.
Yeah.
Bjorn and everyone gets charged. Kieran. I think we had another round of combats. Bjorn killed someone else, I think.
Yeah.
Bjorn was actually doing really well in this game because he'd been a bit of rubbish throughout nearly the whole time.
I found that when using Beorn is that he usually does pretty poor.
Yeah.
Lack of will lets him down against spellcasters.
No, Bjorn's alright actually because he got resistant to magic.
Yeah, but only 1 dice.
Yeah. Actually, that's the weird thing. Me and Kieran found that throughout when someone's casting a spell Bjorn, there's never any point using 2 will.
No?
Because you get resistant to magic.
Yeah.
So when you're left with 1 will anyway, that it doesn't matter if you got 1 will because you can't use resistant to magic and 2 out of will.
Oh, yeah.
So you may as well only use, if you're on 3 will, you either use 1 or use all 3.
Okay. Oh wait, so you either get him out of will or just go 1 at a time?
Yeah.
That's a good point. I've never thought of that. I might, if I dig him out again.
So yeah, pro tip.
Yeah.
Not that it helped for half the games.
Pro tip from those who currently are sitting second bottom.
Yeah, we're second bottom at this point. So yeah, that kind of sort of happens for the next few turns where like Bjorn, Valiger, we're not dying because
you're tough.
Literally everyone, I think he's only got 2 strength 4 models left, which is Legolas, who's just shooting.
Yeah.
Gandalf repeatedly with a single shot.
Yeah.
Chipping Fate and.
Seems to be a recurring theme with a Legolas shooting Gandalf.
Yeah. And Radagast, who's the other strength 4 model, who don't really want in combat.
No.
So basically, we're just getting the point where they can't kill us.
Mm-hmm.
They were doing some quite clever stuff with their Stormcooler. Like, they were knocking over Ent.
Oh, using cool winds?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, basically...
I've never looked into cool winds. And then obviously when we used it against Gary, you're like, hang on a minute, it's good for dismounting. You just go,
yeah,
blow them away.
So basically, they did it to our Eagle and Iron at various points in the game, so they would be on the floor. And unless we won the combat, they kept on staying on the floor so we couldn't hurt them.
Yeah.
Which is really good tactic.
That's a pro tip.
Yeah.
Cool winds monsters. Especially ones that can't resist.
So, because we weren't moving, because generally we just hit a base, but it was the fact that we fell to the floor. What happened at one point is Radagast, basically our Radagast for the first time in the game were in range of each other.
Yep.
And I only had 2 will left with mine, which meant, and then I think I resisted Panic Steed once, so I was now out of will.
Yeah.
And I charged one guy.
Yeah.
1 elf or whatever, and their Raddy was 12 inches away.
Mm-hmm.
And so basically it was a case of I could have hurt combat.
Yeah.
So I have 2 might left. They roll a 6. I roll a 4.
Oh.
I use the 2 might to jump onto their Radagast.
Hang on, you called her at combat and that's, so you had 3.
Yeah.
At combat down to 2. Yeah, gotcha.
And then go onto their Radagast, and I think I did 4 wounds or 5 wounds. And their Radagast stays alive.
Yeah.
Next turn, I lose the Eagle.
Oh.
So
with Panic Steed, even though the Eagle passes its... Does the Radagast Eagle...
It specifically says that the mount is removed from play.
So even if the mount itself shouldn't normally run away...
Yeah.
So
doesn't affect the memory killers in the FAQ.
Yeah, no, but what about Azogs? If you Panic Steed Azog...
Yeah, if you Panic Steed Azog...
The white will be removed.
Yeah.
Wow. I quite like that.
Yeah.
That's quite cool, actually.
So our next turn, we've got an Eagle who's just stuck on the floor.
Yeah. You've got a wizard who's stuck on the floor.
Treebeard and the Ent are basically engaged.
Yeah.
We've managed to wound Gladiator quite a few times just by hurling.
Yeah, she's such a low defence, I'd imagine you probably can.
Yeah. I think the Ent had taken a wound or a couple of that, and Gandalf was now in a bit of trouble because people were coming round towards him. So everyone jumps onto my rally on the floor.
Yeah, I did see that.
And our Gandalf is kind of getting surrounded and stuff like that. Fortunately, we had priority.
Yeah.
This is where Kieran learns how to save a wizard through slightly weird means, which is Bjorn wins combat.
Yeah.
So you got Raddy surrounded by people. You pick up a guy and you hurl him at my Raddy. So everyone gets knocked to the floor.
Yeah, only the people who it hits.
Yes, well, generally you can do it. So
because
normally at worst there'll be one person.
Yeah.
But so it's like, I think it was a horse I threw at that one. So
yeah, if you ride a horse, then that helps.
So basically, and Kieran, I basically killed a couple of guys. Didn't wound my Radagast, but it meant that he was alive.
Yeah.
For an extra turn. This was the point where Bjorn went super awesome. Because it seemed to be that... Because I did call her a comeback with Bjorn. He then jumped on their Radagast, killed him, got his might point back.
Yeah.
And like, so our Raddy was alive, their Radagast was dead. That went quite well. Kieran Eman did the same thing with Treebird to save Gandalf.
Nice.
Well, I think we hurled Gladriel. No, it wasn't yet. The next turn, we did a similar thing where he hurled Gladriel, killed Gladriel, got the point of might, and all that.
That's one rule people always forget in Lords of Battle, is that if your hero is part of a fight where an enemy hero dies, they can get a might point back. Only one hero though, so...
Yeah. So we did that. The next couple of turns didn't go so well for us, because Radagast did die eventually.
Yeah.
Gandalf... I think did he die? I can't remember if he died now. That's a bit bad. But yeah,
I think when I looked over, I could only see Treebird and an N.
Bjorn was still alive.
Maybe.
I think Gandalf died, Radagast died, and Gandalf died, Radagast died, and the Ents was wounded, and we still had an eagle on the floor.
Yeah. It's probably why I couldn't see it, because the eagle was a plastic base for most of the time.
Oh yeah, just for ease of movement.
Yeah.
But then we also killed Gladriel. They'd run out of might.
Yeah.
And all this stuff. The Ent eventually died. However, the eagle also managed to eventually win a combat and stand up.
Yeah.
And then it was kind of, I remember at the time getting a bit nervous because it was looking a bit close. It's like if we get broken and all that.
Yeah.
And then what happened is all our guys are just being surrounded every turn, more or less.
Yeah.
Bjorn saved the game, really. I don't know whether we were going to lose because of the points, but...
Yeah. It felt like he saved the game.
Yeah, because Treebid was on like one wound or something left. The Ent was on... No, the Ent was dead by this point. The Eagle was on one wound. Bjorn was still kicking ass, and full wounds, full fate, and everything. And
not really being touched.
And he sort of surrounded, and he picks up one guy. Treebid surrounded, throws it, hits 4 guys who are on the back of Treebid, kills every single one of them.
Wow.
That Treebid is no longer trapped.
Oh, that's some top quality hurl there.
Which also broke them.
Wow.
And basically meant that when Treebid lost the combat, because Kieran was rolling dice, he didn't die.
He could back away.
And then actually killing those 4 made a massive diff, because it meant that we weren't as surrounded anymore.
Yeah.
And then in the end, I think we just started hurling and stuff like that. It almost went to cruise control from that point.
Yeah.
And we won it in the end, I think 53-28.
So they got fair old whack.
No, 23 or something like that. They got a lot of points.
Considering, we were saying before that max they can get really is about 36.
Yeah.
To get 23 odd is...
But that was quite a fun game.
Yeah, it looked fun.
Yeah.
It kind of shows that you should never resign yourself to losing, because
you could be playing me and Kieran and we get overly enthusiastic about it.
Yeah, always got to have a positive outlook on a game, even if it looks, impossible. If you haven't done your daily sacrifice to the dice gods.
Yeah.
To be fair, I did notice that there was a lot of people using Slayer dice and they were rolling quite well.
Yeah.
I bought my Slayer dice with me just in case, and after the first game I swapped my Slayer dice, and they started, we started kicking butt.
Yeah. So, on to the final game.
Yes, so we're sitting on 2 wins, 3 losses, and we're like, if we can go evens, that'd be really good. I think we were sitting down about 10th, having dropped 5 places.
We moved up a little bit.
Yeah, we was quite low, and so you'd think we'd be playing someone.
We were on equal with you, roughly, weren't we? Actually, then, if you had 3 losses.
Yeah. Did you win your last one?
So we were 2 for 3 at this one.
Yeah. So yeah, it's going to be. You'll probably be just above us on VPs because we haven't scored very high.
Yeah.
So anyway,
this is the point where the draw really confused
Yeah.
everyone.
Yes, that's what I was getting into. So you'd expect. So it was Jay and Dan Entwistle top with
Billy and Damien weren't top.
No, Billy and Damien were down by this point. Yeah, they'd lost.
Jamie and
James Brawns, and then David. Jay and Dan were top. Then James and Jamie.
David Reed
and Chris. They were the top 3. So you'd expect that the top 2 will play each other for the win.
Yeah.
And it basically was whoever won the tournament. Now, this is where this caused a lot of discussion. Was Jay and Dan Entwistle were drawn up against Katrina and Callum, who were dead last, having lost 5 games.
Yeah.
And to be fair to Jay and Dan, they were insisting that they swap.
Yeah.
And, Dan, because I've kind of noticed that there was a lot of discussions going on over with Dan Bird, and was like, can we, this isn't right, can we swap? And so I kind of pulled Dan Entwistle and was like, what's going on? He's like, we're playing them. I feel really bad.
Yeah.
Because we're going to base it. He said, in all fairness, we'll
you don't
probably
expect to play 5 games in a tournament to have your last game.
Yeah. It's in essence given it to us. He said, I know we're not presuming, we're not guaranteed the win, but how can you pair someone who's won 5 games
with someone who's lost?
Someone who's lost 5 games, and likewise, we must have been quite low because we were playing James and Jamie.
Yeah.
And we're like, hang on a minute, how does this work? They've won lots of games.
It's like you don't have Roger Federer has played me in the final of a tennis tournament.
Yeah, you don't, unless it's like the FA Cup.
Yeah. They still have to win to get there.
Yeah. There was a lot of confused faces, and I don't think it was as easy as just swapping people, because whatever tournament software they use doesn't allow that.
Yeah.
Because I still don't know how it works, and they've used it for 3 or 4 tournaments now.
They've only used it for the last 2. This one.
That was it.
Yeah. I think it was strength of schedule ranking. So it's a thing which I thought it was originally an idea which I probably use at my time, where it's, say you're tough, so say you've got a group of people on 3 wins, 2 losses.
Yeah, you bracket them off and they all play.
So within that point, you get, because normally it'd be the 2 best people in each of those play each other.
Yeah, standard Swiss.
Yeah, but whereas the way that I personally think should be done is you get rewarded for having the more VPs. So the person with the highest VPs in that group plays the person with the lowest VPs in that group.
Yeah,
and then you.
Yeah, I think that's what it did throughout the day. But then for some reason, the system then went top plays bottom, second plays there, until 6th played 7th. Yeah, and. I offered to swap. I was like, we'll play them because we've been doing pretty rubbish. And then, because we were playing James and Jamie, so I was like, well, that way you 2 can duke it out. And they're like, we would totally do that, but, we're not allowed. Maybe the system doesn't allow swaps.
Yeah.
And I'm still not quite sure why.
See, the thing that I thought it may be, because it could be to do with playing the same opponents.
Yeah, and that's why I think, it should be. That's why I don't like that software, because I think for that many rounds it doesn't take into account that. Yeah. But that's what it was. To be fair, I've never played James Braun, and I might have played Jamie once.
I've only played James Braun. No, I've played James Braun twice.
Yeah.
Both times I reconnoiter. And I won both times actually.
So we were quite we were actually looking forward to playing them, because we kind of said to them, was like, right, we just spent the entire game chasing Rivendell Knights, please don't run away from us. And it was a really, really fun game. So they were the only evil army there, weren't they?
Yeah, that was weird actually.
There was 11 good armies, 11 very similar armies, which we'll talk about in a minute. And then they were just the sole evil army. They had the Necromancer, a Shade.
Basically, Jamie decided that he wasn't going to take any filth whatsoever.
Except a Shade and the Dwemer Lake.
He had a...
He had a No Might Angmar list.
Which he mentioned quite a few times.
Yeah, which if you've watched his videos, he's mentioned. So he had the Shade, the Dwemer Lake and a Barrow White with Angmar Orcs.
Yeah. And then James Bourne looked at this list and went...
This could do with a Necromancer.
And a whole lot of other...
And some Morannon Orcs and a Taskmaster and some Orc Trackers on the Wog.
Basically, James Bourne filthed up the list.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, the Angmar list, although it's got no might, it's still pretty horrible because it renders your might next to useless.
I mean, it doesn't take skill to play a Shade.
No, I think Jamie actually said that on camera once.
Yeah,
and he got heckled with that when at the award ceremony, which kind of gives it away. So yeah, it was good to play an evil army, and it was good to, and they're really good to play. Obviously, they're both quite good players. And first turn, I think, right, I know what they're going to do. They're going to sap Thranduil's Will. So I want Terrifying Aura of Dismay up, at least, so if they forget to sap it first, they might fail a few charges. So we channel that, costs 2 might because the Dwemer Lake's in range. We charge in, or we get as close forward because the terrain had been moved throughout the day. So we called Damien over and just said, "Do you mind scattering this around for us?" And you just happen to put a massive field right bang in the middle, and then 2 hedges going that way. Obviously, when we were off board edge, they took the edge where they had lots of space, so we had to funnel through these hedges, which wasn't ideal. But what turned the game was a channeled Chill Soul in turn 2 from the Necromancer. Stop playing with the maps. I'll take them away from you. You can have your cup on one. Never had this problem with Tom or Chris. So anyway, we charge forwards. Thorin and Dwalin are on this flank here. You got Balin and Thranduil here, and you've got Legolas and his archers on the hedge. Obviously, Leggy has his bow firmly set on the Dwemer Lake because if we can get rid of him quickly, it frees up all our might points. The archers is just shooting orcs. So turn 1, obviously, spend 2 might to channel. Which in hindsight, I should have waited. I should have just not done it until I got rid of the Dwemer Lake. They sat Thranduil's Will, or Dismay goes down. I think they mobilise him just because they can. No, they sap his Will and leave him.
Mobilise him because we can.
But the Necromancer then Chill Souls the banner because we had a banner, they didn't. So that then brings it back down to 0-0. Next turn we charge in. In the shoot phase, Leggy fails to wound Dwemer Lake, which is annoying, but just won't use any might this turn. Heroic channeling from the Necromancer. We kind of look at it and go, you know what? Heroic. Was it this turn? No, that's next turn. So channeling with the Necromancer, we're like, right, it's going to be a Chill Soul. Because while they were kind of thinking, we'll put a blast there, and look at their army going, they've got nothing that can blast us or hurt us. And then they go, Chill Soul. I'm like, what's that do? So the guy dies and then strength 5 everyone 3 inches. And where we're funneling through the hedges, there's a big block of Wood Elves and Khazads standing there doing nothing, all within 3 inches. So they target the guy who's out of range. I mean, Thranduil's out of will anyway, but they target the guy who's out of range of Balin and Leggy. And there's 10 dudes there, including the one they target. They kill 8 of them. And all of a sudden, this whole flank just goes, just disappears, gone. I mean, Balin, that's it. Even the defence 7 Khazads are being wounded on 5s, and they get all of them. I think 1 bow and a glaive survive, and we're just kind of like, just looking at each other, going, that's not good. Right, they charge. Thorin starts to wheel round along with Dwalin, and they've got their trackers coming around outside. I'm like, just leave them for now. Let's get into combat, and we'll deal with them. If need be, we'll shoot them. They're fell lighting all our spears away, And then they move the shade into range of Barlin, which hurts majorly. In the shoot phase, Leggy shoots the Lake, auto hit, 6, rolls a 3. Jamie just starts rolling his fate before he even said use a mic point, because why wouldn't you? First one rolls a 3, second one rolls a 2, Lake goes away. And that could have changed the game. Because all of a sudden our mic points are now our own.
Yeah.
We don't have to worry about spending 2, so we're like, right, next turn, move with Thorin, channel with the Stormcaller. Because if we, basically where this, I'm showing you on the table. So, yeah, because I've got my hands like this. So where, we don't need that. So where Thorin was, he was kind of in this sort of shape next to a hedge with Dwalin on the end and the Stormcaller and the pikes behind him. But if we get to move forward, the Stormcaller can move forward and channel Nature's Wrath. And at the very least, we can take some will off the Necromancer to stop him channel, or at least maybe slow him down from Chill Soul.
Necromancer sounds quite good, actually.
He is. I'm going to start using him. Yeah. So anyway, right, and obviously then they kind of twig. So like, right, Heroic with the Taskmaster, channel with the Necromancer, roll off. I think their priority, they win the roll off. Necromancer goes, right, that wood elf there, that's out of range of Thorin, Dwalin and the Stormcaller, channel Chill Soul on him. 4 dice. Guess what he rolled?
Was it a Kieran? Or was it
It was a spectacular Kieran. 4 1s. Literally, Mark goes, I'll be back in a second, pop off to the loo. And then literally, as soon as he walks away, James goes, 4 dice, chance Chill Soul, 4 1s. Nothing I can do about that. And James just going, that wasn't even a free hero for the Taskmaster. Still got 1 left. And then Mark comes back and like, we've just been let off the hook big time. I was like, he just boshed his channel Chill Soul. Unfortunately, they'd boxed Thorin in against this hedge or this field which is difficult terrain with 2 of our own dudes with fell light. So Thorin's throughout combat was, her move was, I'm just going to stand here. So anyway, everyone else charges in. Stormcaller, Nature's Wraths. They've moved the Necromancer out of range because they don't want to use his will. And I think it gets about 10 guys. None of them die from the strength 2 hit, so probably wasn't worth the channel. But had we got to move first, we probably would have got down an entire line.
Yeah.
And Thorin would have been in there as well. They were quite good at keeping Thorin either blocked off by our own guys or out of range. Over on the other flank, Barlin actually cut a hole through and Heroic combated into the shade.
Yeah.
Did a wound, only for next turn to be paralysed by Barry the Barroway, and probably died. The trackers at this point have come round, and Jamie's like, if they were my Wood Elves, I'd be worried. I'm like, worried. Always be scared of trackers on wargs when they flank you. Yeah. Straight into the Wood Elves and kill them all in 2 turns. I think it's about 6 o'clock, and Mark's got to get a train, so he's like, might have to leave you in sole command. So we grab Dano and got 20 minutes. I'm like, right, we got to break him. Because we were 1 off breaking, I think. And they were 10 off, like, right, we got 10 in this turn. And I'm not quite sure what happened, but they managed, realising that Thorin caused terror to everything but their spectres.
Yeah. They
parted everyone out of the way and charged a spectre into Thorin. She backed him up. We resisted a immobilise. The Wilds charged Legolas and Stormcaller. They moved the shade into range of Thorin. Because the flank over here, we've got a few glaives and Khazards, but they're heavily outnumbered, like 4 or 5 to 1. Mm-hmm. So don't need the shade there. They moved the shade over to where the big fight is, and it I think, in fairness, it saved them. Because even though we had might with Thorin, we didn't really want to hurt combat, because you knew that you'd roll a 6, it'd go down to a 5, and then they'd roll a 6 and you'd be out of might. So we couldn't cut through them as quick as we wanted. and obviously then the trackers then come up behind us after killing the wood elves and trapped them. I mean, they didn't touch Thorin. Obviously they killed the banner, but they didn't have their own. And by the end of it, they won 5-0 just for breaking. I think they were about 6 off breaking in the end.
Yeah.
And they said, that it was close for them because they had spent about a good 10 minutes at the start of their turn trying to figure out what to do. Whereas me and Mark were just like, charge, yep, cool. But because I got so much magic. Sorry, we're keeping you up.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. We have gone over our hour.
Yeah.
Oh well. They were spending a good 10 minutes and they're like, sorry it takes so long. We're like, you're taking a long time for the right reason. You're not gaming it. You're not ahead and trying to waste time. You're actually genuinely trying to figure out what to do with all your magic. And they said for a long time they thought that we would, that's what they were so scared of Thorin.
Yeah.
If Thorin and Dwalin got
that impression.
Yeah, got close to them, then they just knew that they'd break. Because they didn't have a shaman.
Yeah, no, to be fair to them, that was the one that they didn't go full cheese, if that makes sense.
No, they didn't put a shaman in. Then they would have had a mic point. So we lost that 5-0, so finished on 2 wins, 4 losses. But it was a good game to finish on. And also it finished before Mark had to go, which was good, because it would have been not nice to him have to rush off halfway through a game. But, it was fun. And, it was a good game. It was a good game to finish. We lost, it was close. And when the Dwimmerlake died, it opened up. And they said, even though they expected him to die, they kind of hoped we'd have burned through a little bit more might.
Yeah.
It was turn 2. Not going to burn through might that crazy. They won. They won that. Jay and Dan were still playing Katrina and Callum. But we'll come to that. We'll come to that. So your last game was against
Rivendell Knights.
So against Gary.
Yeah, Gary and
Sean. I believe his name was Sean. I'm sorry if I got that wrong.
So full Rivendell Knight army.
They had a banner as well, didn't they?
Yeah, which was really annoying. It kind of was almost making a difference. We'll come to that then.
Mm-hmm.
But there's one thing that Eagles hate, and that's wizards and magic.
Yeah, and cavalry that moves as fast as them.
Wow. Tiny bit slower, but...
Oh yeah, no, it's the Gladwin that moved 10.
Yeah,
12.
Keep that.
Yeah. What time is it? What day is it?
Yeah.
Where are we?
We weren't so scared of their shooting because we had blinding light and they needed
Defense 8, yeah.
It's sort of there, but so they deployed everyone literally pretty much on their board edge. So Rivendell Knight unit there, next one there. Sandman was in the middle. They put Legolas on one of the flanks.
Yeah.
Now, Sandman was basically trying to compel people out to either out of blinding light originally.
Yeah.
So they could get more chance of shooting him, or so they'd be able to charge.
Yeah.
Me and Kieran were basically trying to set up something that we've been trying to set up all weekend, which was use Nature's Wrath of Radagast and the Eagle.
Yeah, you tried it a few times on us and we resisted it.
It's like, we actually managed to get it done.
Hey. So they probably got Nature's Wrath twice in 2 games then.
So we knocked 6 knights I think off their horses.
Yeah.
And then Bjorn was being sent out. We decided to go crazy with Bjorn just to force him to do something.
Yeah. You almost have to with those knights. I guess it's slightly easier for you because you've got quicker stuff.
Yeah. So we then compelled one of the guys who is now on foot.
Yeah.
Out. Bjorn and Radagast charged him, who were at combat.
Yeah.
I think I didn't get the 6 and he did, and so I had to use an extra point of might.
Yeah.
Which I wasn't sure it would be worth at the time, but it turns out that we then held through the guys.
Yeah.
Killed 4 guys, and then basically this small group of about 8 people, Bjorn and Radagast wiped out in one turn, killed every single one of them.
That's most impressive.
Yeah, so that went well.
Yeah.
Then with basically most of the rest of his army is now bunched up over here.
Yeah.
And then we're here with Radagast and Bjorn. Radagast then gets compelled backwards.
By Saruman.
Yeah.
Yep.
Bjorn still charging forwards. We do a heroic march with Treebeard or Gandalf or one of them.
Yep.
Just to move those guys up. There's a couple of times of shooting, not much happens. Eventually, we catch up with them.
Yep.
Bjorn charges straight into their line.
As he should do.
Yeah.
Or as he has to. If he's in range.
He then gets completely surrounded.
Yeah.
Which we knew would happen.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we failed to resist and immobilise on Bjorn.
Oh no.
However, we did have a cunning plan, which basically, there's like one captain, about 6 or 7 Legolas and 6 sort of Rivendell Knights all surrounding Bjorn. Bjorn looks like he's going to die, but it was all part of a plan to get Rivendell Knights off horses.
Yep.
Because we then Sorcerer's Blast a single Rivendell Knight.
The whole fight falls over.
So everyone in the fight gets knocked off their horse and suffers strength 3 hits and stuff like that.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah. Unfortunately we didn't kill anyone with the strength 3
But you knocked them all off.
But everyone came off the horse.
And was prone.
Yeah.
Including Bayon.
And including Bayon. Bayon lost the fight and was still on the floor.
Yeah, but then no one could strike him.
No one could strike him.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, it's a tactic that I've done a lot when I've been using Gandalf with Eagles.
Yeah.
It's often an emergency save the monster sort of protocol as well.
Surrounded, save, blast them.
Annoyingly, Radagast was nowhere near that distance because he got compelled.
Did you blast someone into the fight?
No, we blasted someone in the fight out of it.
Ooh. Can you not...
You can target models in combat.
Yeah, but could you not target... Would that not count as targeting...
No.
The only reason I'd say you couldn't target someone in combat because you're already with yourself. You can't, because it's going to knock everyone over. You count as targeting yourself because it'll hit Bayon and hurt him. Whereas if you blast someone into the fight,
it specifically says in the rules that if you target a model in combat, then everyone in the combat gets knocked down.
Yeah, I guess there's no even model with sorcerers. Oh no, it's Saruman.
Yeah.
Oh, possibly I'll have to have a look at that. Because I know you can blast someone into your own guys because the distance they go is random and there's no guarantee it'll hit them.
Because if you just blast it into a combat, it's just who it hits. It's not everyone in the combat gets knocked down.
We'll have to have a look at this.
So I imagine it's like a hurl in that case.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I know that if someone in combat is blasted, everyone falls over.
Yeah.
We'll have to have a look. But anyway, that's your emergency protocol.
Yeah.
I might be wrong.
I hope you are.
Yeah. Otherwise, blatant cheating.
Well.
Should I go and get my rule book while you finish your story?
Yeah, go.
Have a look. I'm gonna be right back.
So yeah, everyone's fallen over there. Pretty much the Eagles now engaged somewhere near Bjorn. Next turn, Bjorn wins his combat and stands up. However, the Eagle dies just from having Legolas and one person be in a combat, which is really annoying because they rolled quite a lot of 6s to wound and just killed them straight away, which we didn't expect. So we're down 1 Eagle, and they've only got about a captain and 5 guys left on horse, which is good. The Ents are starting to.
I'm back. We're back.
Right. Was you looking for?
Target model is blasted D6 directly away from the caster, not prone. Blah 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 blah. If the target or one of the models that is not prone is engaged in a combat, then all models, friend or foe, same fight, not prone. Target model, check fit.
So if the target or what?
Yeah, I think what I would say there is you still have to abide by shooting rules. So you can't.
No, you can't shoot.
You can't because you can't shoot into combat. Good can't shoot. Yeah, but that's still hurting you.
But it's like you can hurl a model perfectly into your own models.
You can hurl them at them because there's no guarantee that the distance.
But then this is the question then, because I would say then would one of the other heroes be able to resist in that combat?
No.
then it's surely the same thing because they're technically being targeted, aren't they?
We had this long discussion about Panic Steed. Do you remember?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. The thing with social class is because the distance it goes is random. That's why it's not an area
if
effect.
it's in combat.
Yeah.
Should one of the other heroes be able to resist it?
No, because it's not the target.
Yeah, so I would have thought that would be because it says you can't. Yeah, I would say that it'd be fine because otherwise you should be able to resist it.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I'll have to stay.
Yeah. So yeah.
But obviously, who's you playing? Gary.
Yeah.
I'm sure if they'd had a problem with it, they would have.
I haven't had it come up at all actually.
No.
So.
The only reason it kind of flags up is doing it on someone in combat with a friend, because you can't normally hurt your own friend on purpose if you're good. That's the only bit that I know you can blast someone into them, no problem. But it's just if you blast someone in the fight with your guy intentionally, that kind of sets off the blue on blue can't shoot each other.
Yeah.
But you might be right. Turns out I've been wrong several times recently in various polls.
I've been on the winning side.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean necessarily
yeah,
just the right side.
It's the winning side.
Yeah. Anyway, so you save Bayon.
So yeah, Bjorn's alive. He wins the next round combat. Unfortunately, Eagle died to Legolas and one other guy.
Yeah,
which we really didn't expect.
It was new leggy though, so 3 attack leggy.
Yeah. Bjorn then gets charged by a lot of people and a captain with lance.
Yeah.
They use up the last remaining might to heroic strike and manage to kill Bjorn in that combat.
All for nothing.
Yeah, which we still managed on horse everyone.
Yeah.
So all we've got left is Radagast, Treebeard and Gandalf.
Yeah.
And they've been sending 2 knights round the back.
Yeah.
So Gandalf now got charged by those guys. Radagast now got surrounded by the knights and one of the captains.
Yeah.
Proceeded to fluff everything. In all honesty, this game, it was a bit of a role reversal in the fact that I was fluffing everything and Kieran
was rolling well. It was about time he started rolling well.
Apart from with Treebeard.
Yeah.
So Radagast ends up dying after a couple of rounds, which was basically me out of the game.
Yeah.
Bjorn, because Bjorn Eagle, so basically Kieran now going solo. He let me roll variety.
That's kind of it.
Yeah. And with basically Kieran learned that basically we were using the end because he was the only one when he come back to hold people into the people who just charged Gandalf. So we were saving him that way.
Yeah.
Eventually though he did die.
Yeah. So they get 3 for leader.
Yeah. So and they've also got a banner, and we're now broken.
So they're on 8.
Yeah.
10.
Yeah, we've broken them.
Okay, so that's 3 each.
Yeah.
So 3, 6, 8, 8, 3.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
so you need to kill the leader on the banner.
Yeah. So Salmon's nearish by.
Yeah.
We're basically Treebeard's barging his way to the Salmon and getting priority. Eventually get on to Salmon, kill him.
Yeah.
And now they're winning basically just because of the banner.
Yeah.
The banner's proceeding to leg it.
Yeah.
Now we're in a weird situation where if we kill 2 or 3 more of them, the game ends.
Yeah. But they win because they've got a banner.
Yeah. Even though we got them below 25%.
Yeah.
And
that's why people don't like to the death.
Yeah. So the other annoying thing is every single model in their army passed their courage test. Apart from their captain.
Yeah.
And Legolas. Were the only people ever to throw a courage test because we were really hoping the banner would just run away.
Yeah.
That didn't happen. Fortunately, it got to a point where Treebeard managed to break off.
Yeah.
And so he wouldn't get charged. And for the first time in the tournament, pretty much, Treebeard picked up a stone, saw the banner running away, hurled at him. Kieran goes 6 to hit, 6 to wound.
Hit the rider.
Hit the rider. And I go, another one knows will be handy, rolls dice, gets another 6 and kills the rider.
And ties it up.
So yeah, it's now equal. We're pretty sure it's going to be a drawn out. What?
Yeah.
But me and Kieran tried to orchestrate an amazing hurl line.
Yeah.
So I think we get both legless and the captain down to 1 wound, and then it's the last round because I think one of these guys did run away.
Yeah.
So we got them in the line, and it's sort of there just from barging that. And then Kieran fluffs the rolls retrieve it again to win the combat. And so basically ruins the whole entire thing.
Yeah.
So it's a draw. It's quite a good draw. It
Sounds like a very fun game.
It was a very swing one way.
Yeah.
Because it looked like we were going to, once we knocked everyone off the horse, it looked like we were probably going to smash them.
And they're the best kind of games where each turn it swings from turn to turn and you don't know who's winning.
I'd say every single game this weekend, apart from probably the exception one against Dave and Chris, was incredibly close and could have gone either way.
Yeah.
And admittedly, even the one against Dave and Chris, if that first turn, Kieran said to me actually, it's like, this game's going to be decided now, essentially.
Yeah.
But, so yeah, loads of close games.
Yeah.
Really.
No, the day 3 wasn't. Was it close? No, I'd agree. All our games were pretty close, and there was one or few errors, usually of my making. My hands up, say I made a few errors, but no, finished at 6:20. They were roundabout. Obviously, Jamie and James had done their bit; they'd won, and Jay and Dan were playing Callum and Katrina on the table behind us, and it looked at one point, because they was all painted similarly, I couldn't actually see how many lake town there was, and I got quite excited. I looked round and saw all I could see was a wall of Gondor and elves. I was like, "Where's the lake town?" And they were kind of just off to one side shooting.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh." But yeah, Jay and Dan won.
So Jay, Dan first. Congratulations.
Congratulations, well played. James and Jamie second. Again, well played. I'll get you next time.
Damien?
No. Dave, the Scots. David and Chris come third.
Yeah.
So well done to them.
Yeah.
Always good to see him down from the Highlands.
Dave's been on, because he used to come around the second position quite a lot, didn't he?
Yeah. So, yeah, no, he's well up there now.
Yeah.
And obviously Callum and Katrina got wooden spoon and most sporting. It seems to be a theme at titles. If you come last, you usually get. Well, I didn't get asked for most sporting.
Did you not? Oh, we got asked at the end.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't come around and ask me. I'm not sure what I've given it to.
I think they were well ahead on the sporting.
Yeah.
And then
Damien got best painted model for his Thrall, which is fantastic. £15 store credit. You're like, what? I need to get painted.
Yeah.
There were some good models in there though. I mean, I said it.
All the armies look pretty cool.
Yeah. With the exception of yours.
Yeah, true.
A rock and a base, which is for ease of gaming.
Yeah, it's just practicality.
Yeah.
I often have this thing where, unless if I'm going for best painted, I take models which are already a bit in disrepair to tournaments just because of the travelling damage and stuff like that. Just for A, ease in the game, and B, because I don't want to break all my really
nice models.
Yeah.
I'll have to come round one day and see that you actually got models that have feet.
Yeah. I have an army. I'm very up for equality. I have an army of paraplegics. So both my eagles have one leg.
Yeah.
Gandalf on horse has one leg.
Yeah.
Bjorn managed to keep all his limbs though throughout the weekend. So.
That's good. I'm sure if he'd rubbish, he probably would have liked, right, chop that arm off. So yeah, it was a very good tournament. Mark at the dash. I think we came.
You came
10th.
We came 9th.
9th, yeah.
So importantly, despite after day 1, we were on 3 losses and.
Yeah, well, we had a terrible second day. We did what's commonly known in the GBHL as doing an Owen, and losing all 3 games. But I feel 2 of them. Well, we could have won all 3 of them. You know,
equally, you could have definitely lost at least one game on the
Saturday.
But it is because actually I was saying to Kieran, it's like I've done fairly well when I'm taking Eagle armies, but it always comes down to when you're just doing the 6 regular nights. There's like 3 of them which I'm pretty sure I'll win.
Yeah.
2 of them which you struggle to win, but
you can if you play it right.
The difference is if you win those and manage to win those, it goes from a 10th position to a top of like a 5th position. It's just literally that one game.
Yeah. And also because there was 12 teams, I mean, we finished day 1 in 5th.
Yeah.
And then ended in 10th. It just shows that one loss can slide you right down.
Also, all the top 3 were
on 5 wins, 1 loss. Yeah. So it was decided by, I think it was VP difference and whatever else it uses. But yeah, it was good fun. Said our goodbyes.
We said goodbye to everyone and then saw them again at KFC.
Yeah.
Which, weirdly enough, we had more people at KFC than we did at any of the other meals at the weekend.
Yeah, it's almost a Sunday evening tradition now. Like it is to go to the curry house on a Saturday. Yeah, everyone goes to KFC on a Sunday.
Yeah.
So it was
where they ran out of chicken.
Yes, that caused a few jokes and a little bit of annoyance to those who didn't have their chicken.
It was just like, what?
Yeah. Damien was sitting there doing it. So we need to do the stock take. Have we got chicken? No.
You had one job.
Yeah, one job to get chicken. So I'm not quite sure what, because it was David.
It did arrive eventually.
Did it? Yeah. So yeah, we had a good little tournament debrief there.
They just weren't expecting like 14 people to turn up.
Yeah, it was. It was basically the entire tournament. We just went, KFC? All right, let's go. Because it's just up the road.
Yeah.
That's where we went for Subway. So yeah, nommed some chicken and then
mounted the Wonder Wagon.
Yeah, mounted the Wonder Wagon and away we went.
So
back to civilization in the south.
The first hour started off with just conversation about
it's always you get a debrief because obviously we kind of chat, but you don't really get to chat to Damien.
I was feeling quite tired and kind of.
Yeah, I noticed you fell asleep for about half hour.
Yeah, and then I woke up and felt so much better.
Yeah, we had a stop, and then what was it? It was All the Small Things by Blink-182
came on, and just immediately, without any discussion,
should we karaoke this? It was just all the small things. Yeah. We'll just do that.
Basically, we all just started singing it,
and once it finished, Damien was like, "So we're doing karaoke now." And I was like, "Yeah, all right, yeah, let's do it."
And I had a really sore throat anyway from going Kieran the whole weekend.
What did we have? About an hour and a half left, if that, hour and 15. Literally from wherever we were to Damien's house, we was karaokeing it.
I impressed Damien with my love of classic cheesy power ballads and songs and all that.
I think I slightly annoyed him with my lack of knowledge of cheesy 80s.
How did you not know half of it? There's one song in particular. Sit Down? Or?
No, I recognised it in the end.
Yeah.
I had to wait to the chorus. I'd never heard it from the start. But we did the Lion Sleeps Tonight where we had, was it me and Kieran on a Wimbleway? And
it was me and you doing
a Wimbleway. And Kieran and Damien were howling at the top of their voices. That's the one. And that Damien said it really perked him up.
Yeah.
Because he was feeling a little bit tired. And
the same with me. I was feeling it. It was crash.
Fair, I was as well.
And then it was I had my half an hour sleep and a power ballad came on.
And it was like, this is my jam.
Yeah. And I completely destroyed my voice.
Yeah. You were like, have you got any water? And we had that much left in a bottle. Yeah. And Damien was like, have you got any water left? Because on the Friday, there was a load of old bottles that was, I think, were sealed, and he said, I'll just throw them, we won't need them. And I was like, if you kept those waters. So and we kind of decided that we wouldn't make in time for your train, which is why he's here and not in Manchester.
Only fortunate.
Yeah. We got to Damien's.
I met the legendary
Emma O'Byrne.
Yeah.
Who was cutting out lightsabers with words on.
Yeah.
I really wanted to ask.
While watching Only Way is Essex and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That was confusing.
There was some weird telly.
I met Daisy.
Daisy, yeah. She was asleep.
Yeah, the weird thing is I kind of half knew my way around their house despite never being there.
Yeah, and you kind of replenished your voice a little bit.
Yeah.
Quick.
So now waking up this morning.
Quick bevy. Yeah, you probably.
I had no voice this morning. We won't.
We made the trek slightly further south, back to the rural country of Sussex, and
and now we spent
3 hours
talking
about it.
Yeah,
that wasn't part of the plan. For us to play a game today. I don't think.
I did wake up hugging Pemba.
Yes, yeah. So Alistair crashed on the sofa bed, and along the top of my sofa bed, I've got an array of Lion King themed cuddly toys. And he took off Sim Mandala and Mufasa.
Yeah.
Which was fine. And then I woke up, so like I said, Mum moved around when she was going to work, and he was hugging Pumbaa.
I was not aware of this. I think I just thought it was a pillow.
Not just like Pumbaa just like falling off. He was actually hugging him. I'm like, that's my toy. Mine. And I'm like, right. What's that? 11:30, I think you got up in the end.
You know that word waffling?
Yeah.
I think we're doing it.
Should we end it now? So come to our tournament. Come to tournaments. So yeah, just quickly before we finish. Next tournament is ours actually. The battle. Yeah.
I can't even get
ours is in the channel.
It's sold out. I haven't even got there yet.
I've actually seen a few messages pop up while we've been filming saying, "Can you tell me if there's space?"
Yeah.
Like the reserves. Yeah. It's the Battle for East Rivensted. 750 points, as Alistair has kindly reminded you all. It is sold out. Everyone's fully paid. And the reserve list is about 10 people long.
So there is also a list of people to eliminate if you need to.
Yeah, if you're on a spot, there's a list you can get a hit
so
on.
I think I've got to take out about 5 people.
Yeah, you're like bottom of the reserve list.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, that sucks.
Yeah.
I've got to wipe out that whole entire tournament.
Yeah, and then you win.
Yeah.
So yeah, 750 points. March the 15th, which is Mother's Day. Didn't realise.
100 point GBHL.
100 points. Second 100 pointer.
Yeah.
Billy could be well out in the front by then if he wins that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I also have custom club dice, but I highly doubt any of my club members will have made it this far in the video if they even watched it at all. I'll be bringing them next club. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. I hope you've got an absolute metric ton of painting done.
If not, I hope you enjoyed your 3-hour sleep.
Yes. If you're just tuning in, you might as well turn it off because we're going to finish it now. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to comment, like, share and subscribe.
Like our Facebook page and follow the blog.
Yes, very good.
Happy Strategy Battle Game.
You stole my line.
I know.
Happy Strategy Battle Gaming.